Good afternoon. Chuck Cameron here from Oxford Community TV. We're at Lake Point Community Church in Oxford on Drainer Road, a beautiful vista. And I'm here with Bob ten Bosch, who I had the privilege of meeting a few months ago. And there's something new going on with the veterans that Bob is going to tell us about. But first of all, Bob, thank you for sitting and making some time to talk with us.
And thank you for joining me in doing this. I appreciate that.
Tell us a bit, if you would, about how it is that veterans, Bob ten Bosch, and this church got together. What's the connection and what's the goal?
Well, there was another member, Dave Traylor, and I ushered a concert some 15 years ago. And in the concert, it was a blues concert.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, there's a lot of different types of people that love blues, and there happened to be several bikers that participated, and all the bikers had leather vests, and each one of them said Vietnam vet, and they also said Christian. So Dave and I looked at each other, and first thing we said is, "Are you a vet?" And we both said, "Yeah, we are a vet." And I said, Dave said he served in Vietnam. I served in Vietnam. He in the Army, me in the Navy. And we both kind of, like a light went on, and we said, boy, we should do something for our vets at the church here. And that was the genesis of it. We, after that little get-together, we also brought on board, at that time, a captain in the Army, and her name is Karen Finch Collier, and the three of us were the leadership team of the Veterans Ministry. Now, I'd like to just fast forward, because in 15 years, that leadership team now has grown into almost 30 people.
So from 3 to 30, that's some serious growth.
And I think it's the love, not only of the members of the church, but I think the community in a whole they have for veterans. And that's just, it's just so overwhelming to me that love is there, because as a Vietnam vet, we were not treated very kindly when we came home. So. Yep. And I think that because the Vietnam vets, they wanted to do something about that. That was also a spur, something to get something going for honoring our veterans.
I guess it's one thing to say thank you for your service, which is now pleasantly common. It's another thing to do something about that and put that into words. Sounds like you guys have done some things. What sort of activities or what sort of things have you done to actually honor the vets?
Well, in the course of the 15 years, we now do every year a picnic, which we just recently completed in July, and there's typically 300 to 400 people that participate in that. We also do a fundraiser at Collier Lanes. That is our major fundraiser for the year, and that's typically the end of March, somewhere March, April timeframe. And then we do this dinner. And again, the dinner has it's only been established about 3 years ago. This is our third year that will have increasingly grown. We started with about 100, 130, then went to 240 last year. I just got a roster count. We're over 250 right now. So we are well on our way of you remember Jerry Lewis Telethon? He always told Ed McMahon, he says, I don't care how much we get, all I want is $1 more. And that's what I tell my staff. I just want one more person next year. So, and they have blown me away. They've literally done a wonderful, wonderful job, and our volunteers are God-sent people to support us. Yes,
literally and figuratively. Yeah. So, how do you find vets, and how do you connect with vets to say, hey, y'all, come on out to the church? This is not exactly on the beaten path for most people.
That's a very good question. I have a good network of various veteran organizations, the Vietnam Veterans of Foreign Wars. I'm sorry, the VFW, which is Veterans of Foreign Wars, Vietnam Vets of Oakland County. There are several other vets, Foxhole USA, Project Brotherhood. There are many veteran I call them veteran advocate organizations. So I distribute what we do every year to those folks, and they are the ones that help participate with that. Another thing that we do, which I think is important for our viewers to know, is that for our picnic, we provide transportation to 4 different veteran homeless shelters. These are sanctioned shelters that are around the Detroit area, and we bus in over 100 homeless vets, and they just love it. They enjoy the afternoon, and they have a great time.
We met a number of those guys, I guess we'll all say, last time we were here, and it looked like everybody was having a genuinely good time coming way out here to the boondocks up north.
Yeah, well, I've had a few ask me to provide that bus so they can come to our church service.
Sure.
I wish we could afford to do that, but it was kind, of course, and many of them put a tear in my eye, thanking me for allowing them to come up and feed them and have them have some good time, and good music too.
Now, let's talk about, you said you have fundraisers. Do the funds which are raised go to provide for those activities, the picnic and the dinner and stuff like that? Is that what the money goes for?
Yes, 100% of it. We have an operational cost that would, for paper and printing and stuff like that. Nobody is paid on our staff, on our ministry, and we just barely get by year to year. We have increased our lane sponsorships. We are also looking at other ways of producing funds for our events and our venues. And we just started for this dinner a sponsorship program. So it's in its infancy, but this is our very first time being self-sufficient, I call it, enabling us to raise monies for these events and providing good food, good friendship and fellowship.
Some nice music, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was great music, and we have not the same band, but we have different type of entertainment for our dinner. We'll have a piano player for the open reception, and we have 2 guitar players that play modern country, a little bit of oldies. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, some of us remember the oldies because for us they weren't oldies; they were the currenties.
Yeah, being 76, I know exactly what you mean, and love the rock and roll era.
Exactly right. Now, does the church, some of the folks in the church, you say they help out, they participate in these activities?
Very much so. Thank you for asking that. We have several other ministries that support us, as well as other elements of the church. The safety team is a very integral part, providing safety and personal protection for our guests. We have the parking team that will provide transportation from the parking lot. We have about 3 or 4 golf carts. We have the tech team, which provides all the technical AV sound lighting.
They do the magic.
Yes, they make it sound good and look good. We have the operations manager who will provide the custodial staff and other administrative support. So I have a tremendous support from various ministries from the church.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. What's next? Where do you guys go from here?
Our fundraiser, but I'd like to backtrack a little bit about the dinner. This is the first time that we're going to do a joint venture with an organization called Downriver for Vets. And we are helping them create a community, I like to call it a world-class community of small homes, a medical complex, a recreational complex, just a tremendous resource center. There's something very similar to that the state of Michigan built around Selfridge Air Force Base, and that's called Michigan Veterans Homes. An excellent facility. I highly recommend those vets and anyone to go out and visit that facility. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And so we're modeling this community, this world-class veterans community after that.
You don't always have to invent the great idea if you can steal it from somebody else.
That's exactly right. It, it's something that we've always wanted to do in helping our veterans, and sometimes you just need an idea, and sometimes that idea is just right in front of you, and you say, "Oh my God, that's what we can do."
So how would, if the folks who will be seeing our program wanted to say to themselves, "Boy, this is sounding good," how would they get involved? How could they help funding or volunteering or praying, or what could they do to help you and your team honor, in a practical way, those folks who served at a time when maybe we weren't all embraced for service?
Well, you can always contact me through email. My email address is Bob, the @ my last name, TEN, like 10, B as in boy, OSCH.com. That's my email address, and I'll be more than happy to respond to any type of support in funding, volunteering for our events and our future events. And if you got an idea or two that you'd like to share with us, I'd like to hear about that as well.
Do you have a phone that you'd like to give out, or no?
My area code is 248-417-2451.
Excellent. And if somebody were interested in wanting to know more about a really cool church who is doing really cool things for really good people, how might they find out more about this really cool church?
They can contact our church. It is Lake Point Community Church. The phone number is, oh my gosh, I don't have the phone number off the top of my head, but they can always contact the church and discuss whatever it is they'd like. If they want to be part of our veterans ministry, I would prefer they just give me a call, and then we can arrange that. Our leadership team, the 30-some people, are comprised of various church members, not just this church, but others, as well as other veteran organizations.
Imagine that.
It's just a wonderful thing.
Big net.
Yes, it is.
Now, when we walked in, there was a beautiful wall that we saw it on here. Could you take us a minute down there and tell us a little bit about what that wall is all about?
I would love to do that. Yes, sir.
So tell us about this wall. This is a beautiful wall honoring some folks. What can you tell us about this briefly?
Well, first of all, it was created by one of our members, Debbie Somerville. And she had a vision as to doing something for our vets, and that was to create a star. Initially, it was supposed to look like a flag flying, but I think that this is a little more appropriate. As it says, in God we trust, we honor our troops, which we do. And this is a listing of all the veterans at Lake Point Community Church, from enlisted men to officers. Yeah.
It's wonderful to honor those who serve the country and to see their names and maybe connect with them here in the church.
Yes, it is. Some of you can see there's a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star. It's the Bronze Star signature. The Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and Silver Star significance of that gentleman. Yes, we have just a variety of just honorable men and women who served in our armed forces.
They honor us by their service, and you honor them by your service.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
You come in the 10th of November, right? 10th of November?
4 o'clock is registration, 5 o'clock is dinner.
So 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, be here. Great fundraiser, great way to honor vets and have some fun and meet some great people, right?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you very much.
Chuck and Bob, on the way out, you have a lovely afternoon.